Welcome, fellow bookworms, to Tibra's Den. My name is Whitney, and we are on week 4 of my 31 days of Halloween. This is, of course, the last week. There'll be like 3 more days that I can read any books I don't finish up this week, but I'll go over any of those books in my wrap-up, of course. So yesterday was, of course, the last day of week 3, and I had mentioned that I was finishing up Daughters of No World. I had a Daughter of No Worlds. I had like 2 hours and some change on that book. I was listening to it via audio, and I did finish that one yesterday. While I was on the computer and such, I got that one done. And then in the evening, I did read R.L. Stine, The Snowman. I got that one read. Other than that, I didn't get anything else read. We did watch the movies that made us, I think is what it's called, on Netflix. And we watched the one about Halloween and the one about Nightmare on Elm Street. We skipped the Friday the 13th one with Jason because my husband and I, neither one of us liked that movie. So we didn't really care about learning more about it at all. So we watched those, so I consider that kind of my spooky show slash movie, Halloween theme, whatever you want to call it, because we learned more behind the scenes of Halloween and Freddy Krueger. So other than that, I didn't get anything else read. I could have worked on Salem's Lot a little bit more, but I was just really tired, and so we just went to bed. And normally I'll read in bed, but last night I didn't feel like it. I kind of have a kink in my neck, which I think I got from reading in bed the night before, because this is kind of a heavy book. It's not like a lightweight book. So today we're going to the bigger city. We're going to celebrate our anniversary today. We're going to run some errands and then go eat out. So I won't have a lot of time to read today. My plan is when I do get home, I'll probably jump into Salem's Lot again. So I'll read this evening. I am going to take a book while we're hanging out at my sister-in-law's house. I might be able to get something read. So I'm going to take R.L. Stine, The Dead Girlfriend, because it's nice and short, and it doesn't take like a lot of brain power, so I can kind of be visiting a little bit while reading this, and it's 182 pages, so I'll take this along. I would take this, but so big and clunky, I don't want that in my purse or anything. This one I can just stick right in there. So I might get this read somewhat, depending on how much of it I get read. I'll finish it up when we get home before starting Salem's Lot. But that's the plan today. There's not a whole lot going on, because we're going to be busy. So tomorrow should hopefully be a better day, but I will see you in just a second with my update on today, and we'll see my plans for tomorrow, because it all depends on what I get done today. So I'll see you in just a moment. All right, we are on day 23, and as I had mentioned before, yesterday was kind of a busy day, so I did not get a lot of reading done. We had a really good day. We went, down to the bigger city, hit some pet shops, got the dogs, got Ani a new harness, and then we got them some stuffed animals. And we also went to Savers and got more stuffed animals for them. So they each got 2 stuffed animals, which they're sort of enjoying. They don't like the ones we got at the pet store. They're really big and really crinkly. Only one of the dogs seems to enjoy them so far, but they're enjoying the little stuffed animals, so that's really good. Had a nice dinner and just visiting, with my sister-in-law and mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law's husband. So yeah, it was nice, and the girls got to play with we call them their friends, and so they had a good time as well. Beautiful sunset coming home. I didn't end up reading. I ended up getting a bunch of books at the thrift store, and so I didn't end up reading till right before bed. And I did read and complete The Dead Girlfriend. This was like 182 pages or something like that. Which again, R.L. Stine, these little teen horrors are really quick. So I read this right before bed, before going to sleep. This one, it was okay. These teen horrors are just so dramatic and unrealistic, but it was a fun one. Out of the others that I read, I think this was one of the more enjoyable one, even though it seemed less believable, I guess. More heavy on the teen romance drama, but I don't know, it was alright. So I did read that one. This morning, when I woke up, I fed the dogs, and then I read a little bit before I went back to sleep because I was up late, had insomnia again. And so I read about 30 pages of this. So I'm on page 90 right now. Excuse me, my allergies are going crazy today. So this is going to be one of the main focuses of today. I think I'm going to start with this one because it's actually a pretty quick, like the pacing on this is actually really quick. So even though it's a bigger book, it has a quick pacing and the font is bigger. So I think it seems bigger than it actually is. So I think I'll start with this one. I do really, really want to continue on with Duncan Wood by William Horwood. So after I finish Salem's Lot, I might go ahead and read a portion or two of this one. Like I said, I'm on part 2 now. And so maybe I'll try to just knock out part 2. We'll see how the day goes, especially since I am tired. But I also want to keep working on the teen horror. So we have for Christopher Pike, which is next up, we have the Final Friends 1, The Party, and then we have the Babysitter 3 for R.L. Stine, which are up next. So that's kind of the idea for today. I'm not sure what I'll get through. I know I'll be able to get through Salem's Lot. I'm just not sure how long it'll take me, if it'll take me all day or not. So I'm not sure how much I'll get to the other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I'll allergy head. And so I will be back in just a moment to tell you how I did today and let you know what I'm reading tomorrow. I'll be right back. All right, so we are on day 24, and I did not have a good reading day yesterday. This last week is not off to a good start at all, and we got, what, like 8 days left? So, yeah. It's been a little bit rough, but we're gonna try to knock some out this, like, work week. And so yesterday I chose to play Dead by Daylight versus reading. I was pretty tired. I didn't sleep the night before, and after being in town, you know, the bigger city all day, like, I just had insomnia really bad, and worrying about stuff. And so I did not sleep well. And so yesterday I just kind of wanted to veg out, and my mind really wasn't on reading. And Dead by Daylight has their Halloween event going on, and they do like these different challenges, and they have a thing called Rift that has different challenges in it. And then you get to the end of the Rift and you get like some charms and some points. So anyway, I chose to play that all day versus reading. And so I didn't start reading till right at bedtime. And I read about 2.5 hours. So I did get to almost page 250, and it's about 650 pages of Salem's Lot yesterday. And so far, like, I'm really enjoying this so far. The shame about this book is it was his second book, so it was originally published in what? Let me see here if I can find the page that I need. So it was originally published in 1975. And this one, the terms, like the tone, like for people who are overweight or people who are gay, is very kind of derogatory in this one, which is such a shame because the story itself is a good one. I wish they would do like how they remake movies where they like rewrite books that are a little bit dated and rework them so they don't have those tones to them, because the story is actually good. It is long-winded, which is one of the things I do not like about Stephen King, is he just goes off on these tangents that don't really add to the story a whole lot. In this case, it works for the story because a lot of it's from the characters, and it's a small town, slow life. So it does kind of work, but there has been points where it's like that wasn't necessary. Like that whole tangent wasn't necessary. I will say though, last night, just as a trigger warning for anybody else who's maybe reading this, one, the derogatory terms, and two, there was a child dies and there's this funeral scene in here, which I mean it got me for sure. Like I was sitting there crying while I was reading that scene. So just a warning on that. But yeah, so far enjoying this. Hopefully I can knock it out today. Like I said, the pacing's really fast. And I know I've been talking about reading this for 3 days, so I just need to get it read. So hopefully today's the day. And then this morning, while I was awake, while my husband was getting ready and such, I wanted to start reading a little bit, but I didn't want to pick up Salem's Lot this morning. So I did start Final Friends Book 1, The Party by Christopher Pike. I only read about 30 pages before I went back to sleep, though, so I didn't get very far. Like, I read that much. So this is the other one I want to get read today. And then we'll just see. Like I said, I don't foresee me reading anything else today. I'll just be those ones. I forgot to mention Saturday, we didn't watch any Halloween-themed show or movie. We were tired and I was working on the books that I had picked up. Thrifting, getting them cataloged and such. So we didn't watch anything then. And then yesterday we watched maybe half, maybe a little bit more of Blade Runner. I had never seen it before, surprisingly enough. So we put that on. We didn't finish it, so we'll finish that today. And then we'll see what else we'll watch. But yeah, yesterday was not a very productive day. So hopefully I have a very productive day today and the rest of this week so I can get these books knocked down, because we're coming down to the wire. This is, the final week. We got what today, so about 7-8 days left. If you include today, it's 8. So yeah, we're down to the wire. So I will be back in just a moment, and hopefully I have better news. It seems like every week I start off like this, but hopefully I'll have more progress for you guys tomorrow, and I'll have good plans for tomorrow as well. So I'll be right back. It is day 25 of week 4 of my 31 day of Halloween. Yeah, we're cruising right along. I'm pretty happy with what I got accomplished yesterday, though. I really focused on reading instead of other things. And so I did read Final Friends Book 1, The Party by Christopher Pike. This one was kind of meh for me. And it was really frustrating because, like, it's really slow and then everything happens at the end. And then you're left hanging because you need to get the other two in the trilogy to learn, what's going on. So that was a little disappointing. Not planning on getting the others unless maybe I come across them at like a thrift store or something. I'm not going to actively seek them out, but if I come across them, I probably will pick them up just so I can know what happens. Trigger warning for this one though, there is like a suicide trigger warning. So keep that in mind, but not bad, just not my favorite either. And then I almost finished Salem's Lot by Stephen King. I have like 76 pages left. I really wanted to finish it last night, but my eyes were just growing heavy. And since I struggle with sleep anyway, I was like, no, you're ready to sleep, just go to sleep. So I'm going to be knocking this out this morning. Should be really easy to finish these, like I said, 76 pages. It's really fast paced. So I'm excited to finish this up. And yeah, just see what happens, because when I did read this when I was younger, I never actually finished it. So now is the time. And then after that, I am going to read at least one more teen horror, which will be The Babysitter III by R.L. Stine. I might pick up the next R.L. Stine book as well, because there's 3 more R.L. Stines and 1 more Christopher Pike. So I might do this one and The Dare by R.L. Stine. And knock these ones out today, but we'll just see how I'm feeling after reading this one. Otherwise I'll just do one a day like I have been doing, but yeah, I'll pick this one up next. And then after that, I'm not really sure my plans. I'm leaning toward picking up Duncan Wood. by William Horwood, and reading the next part, like not the next section because I tabbed them out in sections. Not the next section, but the next part because it's broken down in parts. And the next part is Rebecca, and it's about 104 pages. So I think I could easily do that today. And then we have Bracken, Sibod, the Seventh Stillstone. So then I'll have 3 more parts. So if I just do like a part a day, I should finish it this week and then have my weekend free for some of my other reads. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but we'll see how I'm feeling when I get to that point, and just see where I'm at. And other than that, I still have the Circle Trilogy by Nora Roberts, which will be a reread for me and will be really fun. I kind of want to read that closer to Halloween anyway, just because the vibes are perfect. So I might save that trilogy for this weekend. And then I still have Scythe by Neil Schusterman I need to pick up. I still have my ABC Author Challenge books, but like I mentioned before, those are kind of last on the list because, I can just roll them over to next month, no problem. They're not really spooky themed or Halloween themed. So we'll just see kind of where I'm at. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better after a good reading day yesterday. Hopefully I can keep up the momentum today. I have a few chores I need to do. I've done a few already, working on some of the dog laundry, and then I need a few more chores, but I'll probably wait and do those later in the evening around dinner time. I'll take a break from reading, do some chores, cook dinner, and then go from there. Last night we didn't really watch anything spooky themed. My husband was watching Andor on Disney Plus, and then I went to bed a little bit before him, and I put on Ghost Adventures because he doesn't like that, but it was just background noise as I read Salem's Lot. So didn't really watch that, but it was background noise, and it is, obviously Ghost Adventures. Spooky, works for the season. Not sure what I'll watch today. We still haven't finished Blade, but I'm not really interested in finishing it, and so it's all dependent on whether my husband wants to finish it or not. So that is today's update, and hope I'll have a good reading day again, and we'll just see what I can knock out today, and I will see you in just a moment and let you know how I did, and let you know my plans for tomorrow. I'll be right back. All right, we are on day 26. I had a really good day yesterday, but today I am not feeling very good at all. I haven't felt good the last couple days, like something was coming on. It's not COVID, but I do feel just a little bit drained and down. I got some hot cocoa. It is cold here right now. Thought about turning on the heater, but it's supposed to warm back up, so I don't want to turn on the heater quite yet. But yeah, just kind of struggling today, but I did have a good day yesterday. So I did finish up Salem's Lot, which I only had like 76 pages left of this. So this one is finished. I kind of liked how it ended, honestly. Like, I enjoyed this one, which is saying something since I'm not a Stephen King fan. Then I did read The Babysitter III, so this one is finished as well. This one, kind of meh. Again, not one of my favorites. These teen horrors have been a little bit disappointing, but what are you gonna do? And then I did end up reading, I only read 50 pages, like one of the parts that I tabbed out versus the whole part 2 of the book, Duncton Wood by William Horwood. It just took a little longer than I wanted, and so I just read the part I had tabbed out, which is about 50 pages. So I'll read the other 50 that are in that part 2 today, and I'll get part 2 Rebecca finished up today, even though I wanted to do that yesterday. So slowly making progress on Duncton Wood. And then I also read The Dare like right at bedtime in bed. So this is second to last R.L. Stine book, so I only have one more, which has 2 stories in it. But this one, out of all of them, was actually the most realistic feeling, even though it was quite dramatic and like some of the logic wasn't quite there. I will say this is probably one of the ones that felt more realistic than the other ones, like the situation. Um, but I did see kind of the twists coming. Like I knew exactly what was going to happen. It was very obvious. But overall, this is probably one of the ones I enjoyed the most out of the teen horror. So I read that one, and then I read, I don't even know how many pages, almost 40 pages of Last Blood 2, Black Blood by Christopher Pike. I read this a little bit this morning, and so I'm going to continue on with this and finish this one up. And then I was kind of debating because I really want to read the Circle Trilogy by Nora Roberts. Like, I'm excited for it, but I also want to read that over Halloween weekend. So I'm still going to hold off on that one. So today, after I finish up, the next section of this and Black Blood, I'm going to either read Goodnight Kiss, which has 1 and 2 in here, plus a little short story, or I'll jump right into Scythe by Neil Shusterman. We'll just kind of have to see what I'm feeling when I get to that point. So, as far as what we watched, I don't even remember what we watched yesterday. Oh, The Munsters. We watched The Munsters, which was okay. It wasn't the greatest movie ever, honestly. The 2022 Munsters, because I think it's based on a show, and I can't remember if there was a movie or not. Be prior to this, but either way, that's what we watched. I mean, just kind of funny and like over the top, but not bad. And so yeah, we watched that. Not sure what I'll do today. Like I said, I'm kind of feeling bleh, so I'm just gonna enjoy my hot cocoa and snuggle in with the little one and probably one of the other dogs and cats. They always show up, and just see where the day takes me. But I'm excited to have finally made a little bit of progress on some of my reads. And I'm excited to be down to the last 2. Like, these are the last 2. Black Blood and Goodnight Kiss are the last 2 of the teen horror books. So I think I'm really going to focus on them and just get them wiped out. So that way they're off my radar and done with, and I can just focus on my other reads. Like, I'm really getting close. Dungeon Wood's going to take me the longest, so that one I'll probably focus on tomorrow and Friday, depending on how much of Scythe I get read. So anyway, I'll be back in just a second to let you know how I did today, and I'll let you know what I'm reading tomorrow. So I'll be right back. Alright, it is day 27, and did not have a great reading day yesterday. I mean, I was sick, so that's understandable. I did actually sleep a lot, and so yeah, I didn't have a great reading day, but I did read The Last Vampire 2, Black Blood by Christopher Pike. This was actually kind of an interesting take on vampires, and overall I actually enjoyed it. I do wish I had read the first one so I would have understood a little bit more, but this was actually pretty good. But it did take me all day to read. Like I said, I wasn't feeling well, so my focus wasn't there, and whatnot. But I did get that read, and then I also did read the next section of Dungeon Wood by William Horwood. So I'm through part 2 now and on to part 3. So I still got a good chunk of the book left to go. So yeah, I think I'm about halfway now. And don't think I'm going to be picking this one up today. Still don't feel the greatest. Feel a little bit better. My husband brought, we found a place that had basically green chili chicken stew, which I'm not a stew or soup person, but when I'm sick, I do want it. And I was specifically wanting green chili chicken stew, which we just didn't have the stuff to make at home. So he picked it up from this little place, and it was really good. I actually still have about half of it left, which I'm going to have today, because I still don't feel great. So I'm going to have that and some orange juice and try to feel better. I do feel better than I did yesterday, though, so I'm not as tired. So hopefully I'll have a good reading day today. This morning I did start Goodnight Kiss by R.L. Stine. I've only read about 30 pages. This has Goodnight Kiss 1 and 2, plus like a little tiny short story. So this is the one I'm going to be mainly reading today. Hopefully, like I said, it can knock it out. It's going to be a quick read if I can focus. I've read this one many times before. So that's on the agenda today. And then I did not get to Scythe, obviously, at all yesterday. So this is also on the agenda. I'm hoping to finish up both of these, and then tomorrow I can focus on Duncton Wood. And then this weekend I'll be reading the Circle trilogy because I want to read it for Halloween, and that's like, other than my 2 ABC author challenge, that's like the last 3 books on my TBR. I also listened to a book called Body Snatchers by Joan Axelrod-Contrada, because I needed still a zombie book for Amy at 8 Star Reads bingo board. That was like the last book I needed, and the books that I have were too long, and I just couldn't fit them in. So I found this like 23-minute short book, and it was nonfiction. It was aimed for children, and it's talking about different like insects, like flies and wasps. Or not zombies, it was creepy crawlies I still needed. And I don't have any creepy crawly books. But it was talking about different insects that like basically are parasitic and lay their young in other insects, and they kind of take over the body. So it's body snatchers, flies, wasps, and other creepy crawlies. Zombie makers is what it was called, and it was actually really interesting. Like, I know a lot of wasps. We have one here called tarantula hawk that lays, paralyzes, stings a tarantula, paralyzes it, and then lays its young inside the tarantula, and then the young eat the tarantula. I knew, some of the parasitic wasps and such, but I was also talking about these parasitic flies, and it was interesting, at least to me. And it was aimed for children, so it was a little bit like redundant and such. Um, like it kept saying, and then they poop them out. And I was like, okay, we got it. They poop them out. But yeah, I actually enjoyed that, and it worked for Creepy Crawly. So I listened to that one while I was eating breakfast yesterday. And so, yeah, that was kind of my day yesterday. Didn't really watch anything spooky-ish. My husband had started to watch The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad on Disney Plus, so he finished that up, and it kind of fit because the ending was kind of a little spooky-esque. So we did watch that, but past that, I wasn't feeling good. I didn't want to watch anything. Not sure what we'll watch today. I still need to finish The Midnight Club. I haven't quite finished it. It's just a lot, because they're terminally ill teens. So um, hopefully I can watch that and finish it up, the remainder of this week. But we'll see. Today I'm just gonna kind of read and relax and try to feel better. So that is it. I'll be back tomorrow, which will be the last day of week 4, and then the final 3 days, of course, I'll just talk about in my wrap up. So I'll be right back. All right, so we are on day 28th, which is the last day of week 4, and also the last day I'm doing daily updates and such. There's only 3 days left in the month after today, and so I'm just gonna wrap up my reads and talk about them in my wrap up. Yesterday didn't quite do as good as I wanted to. I was still sick, and so I didn't feel as good. I did take a nap. But I did manage to read Goodnight Kiss by R.L. Stine, which this one has Goodnight Kiss and Goodnight Kiss 2, and then also a really short story in here. And so it's basically like 2 books, and the font's a little smaller than like some of the other teen horror by him. And so the pacing's not quite as fast. So I am pretty pleased that even though this is all I got read yesterday, I did knock it out. Like I said, it equals 2 books. So yeah, this is obviously about vampires. They're teen vampires. Kind of summer vacation in the first one. And there's these 2 vampires that have kind of a dare, that they can, without force, turn these two people into vampires as well. And then the second one kind of follows that same theme, only now you have 3 vampires that are doing the dare, and one of the victims actually knows about the vampire because the last summer one of the girls he was dating got turned by vampires. So that's kind of the twist in the second one, which you know right off the bat, so I'm not spoiling anything. And then the vampire club, he's trying to join this club, and the initiation is to kill a vampire, but they kind of trick him because he doesn't believe in vampires, and so they get one of their friends to pretend to be drinking the blood of a dog, and the guy freaks out and decides he's gonna kill the vampire, not knowing they were pranking him. So yeah, this is one of my favorite teen horror R.L. Steins. I've read it multiple times, you know, since my sister passed it on to me. This one just, I think it has a little bit more substance than his other one. So that's what I read yesterday. I did start a little bit of Skype this morning, not very much. I got 18 pages like halfway through the second chapter. Just kind of wanted to get a little taste of it. I'm going to be on the computer for most of the day, so I won't get to this one till this evening. And so I will hopefully read a good chunk of this evening, and then tomorrow morning I can wrap it up before I jump into the other ones that I have. So I'm hoping this weekend, I saved these specifically for this weekend because they have the perfect vibes for Halloween. But I have the Circle Trilogy by Nora Roberts. So we have Morgan's Cross, Dance of the Gods, and Valley of Silence. This one, so perfect. So these should be fairly easy for me to read. Because I've read them before. This first one's about 320 pages, so I'm fairly confident I'll be able to knock these out this weekend and into Monday. So that's kind of the overall plan for this weekend. As far as what was on my list and I didn't get to, Duncton Wood, I was hoping if I had knocked out Scythe yesterday that I was gonna read at least one more part of this tonight. That's not going to happen. This is definitely going to have to roll over into November, because even if I get a chance to read it over the weekend, I'm not going to finish it. There's no way. I still have half of the book to go, and it's really slow paced. The writing font is small and it's larger than a normal book, so that's not going to happen. That's going to roll over to November. And then I did have my 2 ABC author books on my list that I'm not going to get to that are also going to roll over to November. So we have my T author, which is The Lost Book of Moses, The Hunt for the World's Oldest Bible. So I'm really interested in this. I have a feeling this is going to be a slower read. The font's not too bad. It looks pretty normal size. And it looks just over 300, like I'm already in the acknowledgements, 332 pages. So hopefully it won't be too bad and it will be interesting. And then my other book that I'll have to roll over is Exodus Revisited by Leon Uris, which is my U author, of course. This is a bunch of pictures, so this is going to be really quick. So I'm hoping I can knock these out fairly quickly at the start of November. But yeah, there's no way these 3 are getting to. But you never know. Maybe I'll have a great weekend. I seriously doubt it, and I'm probably gonna want to play Dead by Daylight all weekend, honestly. So anyway, those will get rolled over. So definitely check back at my wrap up, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys here. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.